this is Tina here from Under 3 Acres, and today I'm doing part 2 of this auto egg incubator video because for some reason YouTube cut off halfway through the other one. So I was just getting to the part in the part 1 about how to set the temperature. If you haven't seen that video, you might want to go back and see that how I did it, but I can give you a quick recap. I took this out of the box, I took all the parts, washed them in a bleach solution, then I put them together. There's a piece on the bottom with little legs down, another piece that looks like mesh with there's little ridges on it. You put that with the ridges up. Then there's a little black thing with a slot. You put a couple of those little long divider pieces in between. Put that in there. Sorry, I talk with my hands a lot. Then you're supposed to add water, and that's where I was getting to setting the temperature. I don't muck around with the temperature anymore. I leave it at 37.5 degrees Celsius. I'm pretty sure that's what it comes out of the box at. The one thing I do differently than the instruction booklet is I don't put this much water in it. This is how much the instructions say to put in it, and then let it sit. I put in about 1/5 of this, so I put about 15 to 20 milliliters of water in the bottom reservoir, plug it in and let it heat up all by itself, and I let it run for 24-ish hours. As soon as I can get the humidity to be like at about 50 to 55%, and it's all up to snuff as it's the 37.5. So now I'm at the point where I can incubate my eggs. I'm just gonna move my incubator back to the other counter, but before I do that, I just wanna make a little caveat, little note here, that last year when we incubated eggs, we did it in the basement, and it's cold down there. I think we have about 16 to 17 degrees Celsius down there, room temperature. That's, I think, in the low to mid 60s. Like it's not very warm downstairs. So if the room you are going to incubate in is cold, you're gonna wanna put towels around it. You just wanna leave the hole on the top open, and then you're good to go. Otherwise, if it's room temperature around 18 to 20 Celsius, around the 68 to 72 room temperature in Fahrenheit, then you're good to go. So I'm just gonna move this back there, and then we're gonna set our eggs. So I'm just going to take the lid off here. I don't know if you can see the hygrometer, we're at about 55%. Now I'm just hatching out this year some blue and green eggs. We have lots of chickens now. I just want to increase the blue and green egg layers a little bit. Plus, when you incubate eggs, you get about 50 to 70% roosters. So there's always that. So I'm just going to load this up. Now my eggs aren't 100% clean. The kids have been collecting them, and it's a bit muddy outside, so sometimes it gets a bit muddy in there, but you get the idea. This incubator will hold 12, I think, quail eggs, but it only holds 9 chicken eggs. So I'm going to get this back on here. And there's this little thing I talked about in the first video that you're going to want to make sure you put in the slot. And then there. So I think you saw the little hygrometer in the back. I'm just going to slide that back against the wall there. I have that in there just to keep track of the humidity. There's different hygrometers on the market. That's just the one that I have. So I'm going to set the eggs in the other incubator, and then I'm going to let them do their thing. Now it's important when you're incubating to make sure that you haven't washed the eggs. That's why these eggs aren't 100% clean, but to get most of the debris off. That one in there. So I'm just going to leave those 2 incubators on the counter there. Decided to do it in the kitchen this year because it is really cold downstairs, and it is what it is. So now they're going to sit there for 3 weeks. So the incubating time is 21 days. On day 18, I'm going to do lockdown. I have a video that you can check out on how to do the lockdown. I also candle the eggs partway through to make sure everything is still alive and viable, and I have some videos on those as well if you want to check those out when it gets to that part of your incubating process. Other than that, there's not much to do. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. I check them in the morning. I check the percentage of humidity there, and I try to keep them around 50 to 55. And like I said, I just take this thing here and I just drip in a little bit. I just open it a crack. I don't take the whole lid off. Just open it, drip a little bit in, and then close the lid. Now, if it does get up to like 70 or something like that by accident, I put too much in, I just tip the lid just so slightly so that there's a little gap of air, and I just let that humidity right back out, and everything is good. We've had a lot of success, and everyone who did the incubator program with us, that was almost 2 years ago now, they had a lot of success. We had between 7 and 9 eggs hatch every time, so I know this process works. I do less water, less is more. I eventually want to try doing it without adding any water at all. I've heard that some people have a lot of success with that. But until then, I'm gonna just do it this way. This is the way it's working for us, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.